तव महनीय कृपा गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा.
Hari Om. It's my pleasure and privilege to welcome you all, the members of Chinmaya Mission Boston, the board. So today we have a wonderful set of people who have been involved with the mission for many years, and it is such a great opportunity to sit down with them on this cold, snowy winter afternoon, and then be able to talk about the mission, the values, and the services being offered by the mission, and of course the people. People form the most important part of Chinmaya Mission Boston. So let's start with just quick around the board here. Dr. Dwarkanath, who is also president of Chinmaya Mission Boston, and we have Raghunath ji, who is also serving as the treasurer of the mission, and we have Murali Chari, who manages a lot of important things for the mission. Anuradha ji, who is also part of, other than being the member of the board here, she also manages things and activities in the Newton chapter. And we have Sanjay Padaki, who, other than being the member of the board, does a lot of things to keep our audio video department moving in the right direction. And Reena Patel, who also wears another hat, being part of the CHIC group as well. So it is really wonderful to have you all. And we certainly have few more members of the board who couldn't make it today, unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts. And then let's just come up with who they are. It is Desh Deshpande ji, who is also serving as the lead of the board, and Shastri Durvasula ji, and we are missing Sudhir Srinivasan, and we are also missing Ashwini Singhal ji. So this forms the board, Chinmaya Mission Boston board. So it is wonderful. Let's get started. So let's talk about, when we talk about the mission, there is this wonderful organization that has come out in the last 20, 30 years. What does the organization and its mission mean to you? Let's start with you, Dwarkaji.
First of all, I've been involved with the mission for more than 35 years. So Chinmaya Mission is a wonderful organization. If you look at the mission statement, it says to provide the maximum amount of happiness to maximum number of people for the maximum length of time, And it also states, like, the purpose of it is to provide the sacred knowledge of Vedanta to members, to anybody, irrespective of caste and creed, so that they get the spiritual knowledge and they become positive members of the society. So these are the fundamental views of Chinmaya Mission, which is different than other organizations, and that means a lot. And also, our pledge very clearly says that we stand as one family, bound to each other with love and respect. So Chinmaya Mission, all over the world, they stand as one family. So any member who goes to any new center, all they have to do is mention that they are from Chinmaya Mission, and so that family coherence and the way they interact and help out each other is tremendous. So those are the things that makes this organization a fantastic organization. Of course, there are multiple branches of it. So the main, the sustaining thing is the Bal Vihar. We have many thousands of children attending the Bal Vihar. Then we have the various nursing homes, hospitals built, educational institutions, and now they've started their own university in Kerala. So all these things together makes it a very unique organization, for which I'm very proud to be a part of it.
That's really awesome, especially in the context of your interaction with Puja Gurudev Ji. I think it makes sense that the inspiration is coming directly from him, and then that makes it all the more positive in that sense, and then you are able to inspire a larger community to be part of this, and then get the meaningful action out of this whole involvement. Thank you for that. And then let's just have the same question posed to Raghunath ji, for example. If you want to briefly talk about your what keeps you going with the mission. I know that you have been involved for a while, and then what makes you tick with this organization?
Yeah, thank you, Madhu. I have been involved with Chinmaya mission with great pleasure for last 40 years or so also. And it is, I get overwhelmed whenever I speak of Chinmaya mission and how important it is and what a great involvement it is for any parent or children. It has many facets, like Dwarka ji said. Each one of them is in itself profound, and all combined, it's a great experience. First of all, Gurudev's inspiration is always there. And he used to say one thing that I always keep it in my heart. He used to say, "The farther I go, the closer I am to you." What a profound statement with far-reaching implications. So he is never away from us, and that shows with the volunteers we have and the good work that goes on all over the world, not just our center, and ever-expanding scope, always keeping the core values in mind. That is to impart spiritual knowledge, and it's a whole family involvement. Balavihar, satsangs, jnana yajnas, and instilling values into other education and knowledge we gain in outside world. People, I have seen it in my own experience, people that get involved here, they take the experience and that spiritual outlook to their corporate world and thrive, not only themselves, but people around them will have an uplifting experience. So I can go on and on.
Yeah.
My children also went through all the Balavihar and youth groups.
Yeah.
And they are profoundly, of course, impacted.
That's great. Let's do one thing. We, as part of keeping the mission going, other than looking at how some things came around in the past years, it's also important for us to continue to motivate newcomers, new members, and then be able to bring them into the fold, bring them into the family. So, if I can question on that front, let's start with Murali. So, I know that you have been involved for a long time. How would you influence or motivate the community in general? You lead a lot of activities within Chinmaya Mission, and then obviously we are all a team here, right? In order to keep things moving, how would you motivate people, members of existing members or members in the larger community to come in and then help with the missions activities and be part of it?
So, I've been involved in Chinmaya Mission since '97, and last 23 years. Initially, I joined because of my daughter, just like everybody else. And then when I started listening to Gurudev's lectures on Gita, I was really mesmerized and become curious. And now I'm kind of really loving the Vedantic and spiritual part of my journey. And in order to influence people, we have to provide what our center stands for, what I have gained, what my daughter has gained, what my friends' kids have gained. If you look around Chinmaya Mission Boston and our other chapters and how their children have grown into various aspects by growing through Chinmaya Mission, and also how they have performed outside the organization in their own life. That is the example we should provide to all the children. That's what I try to provide to my friends when I talk about Chinmaya Mission. I'm always proud of talking about Chinmaya Mission, and also encourage them to even attend or go to website and listen to Gurudev's lecture. They will be really inspired. And I also ask them to tell their friends what are the services we can provide and we do provide. Of course, there are a lot of opportunity to expand our services, but what we provide now is very valuable for me. So it really comes from my heart.
I think that's a well-made point. When things come from heart, they really make it more meaningful and enjoyable. So let's have Anuradha ji, who is actually also part of the Newton chapter, and that also meant that you folks in your team, along with the central leadership here, have been able to come up with inspiring a whole new community in the Newton area to be able to be part of this. What is your experience, and how did you motivate people?
Thank you, Madhu. It's a pleasure to be with everybody here. And it's really my honor and privilege to have been part of the Chinmaya community. Like Murli, I too really got involved in Chinmaya Mission as a parent. So I started bringing my kids about 20 years ago. Now that one thing led to another, and then I always tell other teachers, that I started with the back of the room and slowly came forward and started, became a substitute teacher and then a teacher. And when Shashiji asked Sumana and I to see if there was an opportunity to appeal to the communities that are around the Newton area, we were delighted. And our chapter has been growing very well. And, the reason why I think all families should bring their children is because the world is getting very complex. The world is getting very noisy. And Bala Vihar provides the children an opportunity to really introspect and find that quiet with this world being so complicated. And that quiet is extremely important for a child to get centered and the family to get centered. And that's the fantastic experience that I have had with all my Sundays at Chinmaya Mission. And I hope that all other families will get that privilege as well. Thank you.
That's great. Sharing the joy is what we all want to do. Thank you for that. So why don't I ask to talk about why should families opt for Bal Vihar, and then why do you think it's a special experience for the child? I will get Reena to, I'm sure she will be able to go with this as well.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much also for having me. It's obviously a big honor and privilege coming from the Yuva Kendra space of the youth part of Chinmaya Mission and now being part of the board. I would say, Bal Vihar, being a teacher and having been the high school coordinator for the past 10 years at the Andover Center, two things that really speak to me when I talk to my students are, one is connecting with the Indian American experience. I think that is so rare, where students being born and brought up here, typically their parents are from India or they weren't born in this country. And so having that like-minded hour with folks that are dealing with the same sort of thing, right? From a cultural perspective, from a religious perspective, them gaining that kind of friendship and connection and being part of Bal Vihar every Sunday is invaluable. I think that time and time again, I have had students come and say, thank you so much, Chinmaya Mission, and they realize it while they're in it. You can hear it in their graduation speeches, and many years later, college and post-college. And the other thing I think in terms of the Bal Vihar experience that stands out is really understanding our amazing history, right, and culture in the country that we come from. Now, ideas like yoga, vegetarianism, meditation, being green, being environmentally friendly, karma, these things are now in our everyday lives. And the West is picking up on this. And so having a fundamental understanding of that is ours, our great rishis, our great saints, our great gurus told us how to live. And so creating that pride in them, I think has been very, very special. And it's definitely an opportunity when you come to Bal Vihar.
That's very well put, actually. This is what we are going to give them so that they can take it forward when they grow up as adults and then go into universities and whatnot, into their careers, and then be able to be guided with all the value system that is being built in through all these Bal Vihar programs. Thanks for that, Reena. So Sanjay, thanks for coming back on the Zoom here. So we are talking about why should families opt for Bal Vihar, right? Gurudev famously said, catch them young. And then you put your own children through the system. So what made you go through this? And then perhaps you can put a personal touch on that as well.
Yeah, thank you, Madhu. And so we have been involved in Chinmaya Mission since 2007. And like you said, Madhu, we put both our children through the Bal Vihar program, which they very much enjoyed. And I think we took it to heart. We didn't know what to expect. We were relatively new to Chinmaya Mission at that point. We had heard about Chinmaya Mission, but not really been members of it. And then when we started the Bal Vihar program, the children were attending class because the parents bring the children there. They don't have much of a choice at that age. But I think what happens over time, not only the children learn some aspects of the Vedantic culture and religion that we are unable to speak authoritatively about, because we even, when growing up in India, you absorb by osmosis just by being in the environment, but there is no formal education classes that I took when I was young. So it was a way for the children to learn a little bit about the roots and keep that in mind as you go to the future. And then, just like what Murli ji was saying, that, once you start listening to Gurudev's commentary, Guruji's commentary on all the different aspects, you just get more and more interested in learning more. And it's a self-evolvement of yourself and understanding of, what really matters. And I think for children, maybe at the age that they get enrolled, they don't see the value of it. Maybe they say, oh, it's another class on Sunday morning. But I think, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, they will see the value that I feel like, I probably missed out when I was young. So I think I would like them to not miss out on it. So that's the idea. So
if I may add, actually, so Gurudev did some amazing things. Number one, his focus was on, number one, children. So children, he would always say, they're not vessels to be filled, but lamps to be lit. So, but he didn't forget about the parents. So he created this Jnana Yajna, so where there is satsangs. So it became a family event. So when children come to Bal Vihar, the adults go to satsang. So when they go back in the car on the way back home driving, I'm sure they discuss what the parents learn and what the children. So that kind of a total holistic approach, I've not seen in many organizations now. So
I think you made one point very clear. That is, the focus is on families, even though Bal Vihar is a great, important, offering. But the focus is on family as a whole, as a unit, and also the fact that every member of the family has something to gain from Chinmaya Mission Boston. That's the key thing from what I hear from you folks here. Building on that particular aspect of family as an important unit, how can existing members support this kind of initiative? I'm just going to open the forum here to anybody who has any thoughts. Perhaps I could start with one of the younger members. Rina, would you go ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I think a call out for all the current members that I would definitely encourage is to, speak to your fellow friends that aren't part of the mission, and really explain to them why you are part, why you attend, why you come every Sunday, why it's valuable for you to send your children. And I would encourage also our youth and our students themselves to speak upon their own experience. As Mark Uncle said, by the time they're seniors in high school, they know how valuable this experience is. And you're going to often hear from the board, you're going to often hear from executives and teachers, and they'll all tell you why it's such a great program or why Chinmaya Mission is important. But, we really want to hear from the students themselves, from people that do Seva every Sunday, from the auntie and uncle that come and listen to Sashyanti that often don't speak up. It's really important for our members to promote this wonderful cause. And I think that is definitely one way that we can kind of continue this wonderful work for the several years ahead.
This is Murali. Other thing is we have a lot of opportunity to expand our offering at Chinmaya Mission. One of the things Dwarka and I keep talking about off and on is elderly services. What we can do to open the center during the day for elderly people. Your parents or grandparents at home, somebody can drop them off for a couple of hours and spend some time with meditation, reading books or whatever, coffee, tea, and then go home. And also provide meditation classes for communities in Andover, yoga classes for people in Andover. Those are the things that are a lot of opportunities out there, but we should look into that. What is sustainable in the first place? We don't want to start something and drop it.
Yeah,
So,
adding to that, I think when we have this senior citizens, there are so many other things you can do, like giving them health education, bring doctors in to talk about various common diseases which get afflicted to diabetes, blood pressure, osteoporosis, and things like this. So they need to hear from experts and give access to Indian news. Maybe they want to watch an Indian film or something. So I think this is going to happen. It's only a matter of time because we have the facility for it. So it's a matter of fine-tuning it, and but we're sure we will make it happen in the next couple of years.
Raghunath, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to add one thing which I think is important. As we get start using the new technologies, the Zoom and all that, we should no doubt utilize those, and in an intelligent way, in a very careful way, we should blend into our regular activities, always emphasizing, especially for young children, that listening directly in person with a teacher or a Swami is more, the efficacy of that direct Shravanam is much more than very profound and very important. We should imbibe in them that the modern technology, videos and all that, as good as they are, the direct Shravanam is still, it cannot be supplanted with these technology. So they have to do both. Whenever they find an opportunity to talk to a teacher or listen to him directly or to a Swami, they should not miss that opportunity. Our rishis knew this. Shravanam, we listen. Even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that we don't just listen by our ears like the modern medicine says. Sarva dware, each pore in our body is listening to the teacher, a qualified person saying. So they should never miss actually coming to center whenever the opportunity provides and directly interacting. It also develops the interaction ability with other people, and that Vyavahara Jnana also develops. So the direct listening, the interactions and all that, the modern technologies don't provide that.
Actually, this is a wonderful discussion from, I know, a lot of great points from all of you. Just to summarize before we go to the next one. So for me, personally, as a member of the executive team, what I'm taking away is the fact that, since I focus mostly on the community outreach and then how to make the programs more visible to the broader community, this is obviously a very important discussion and an interesting one that I listened to just now. Just to summarize, I think we are talking about members, existing members being the brand ambassadors, so to speak, right? And then they are going to go around in the society and then be able to talk about what they are doing, one. And then focus on family. And then we talked about not leaving out anybody in the family for that matter, including elder services that you are proposing to do. That's a great new initiative that's going to come up. And then we are going to talk a little bit more about doing something different, something more in that regard. And then we are also talking about the current hot topic throughout the world, to Zoom or not to Zoom, right? That was also a wonderful set of things and ideas that came about. What to me as a member of the community outreach team here matters is the fact that we have a wonderful temple. Just to inform anybody who is looking at Chinmaya Mission Boston as something that they're learning for the first time, assuming that there are viewers who are looking at it for the first time, we have a wonderful temple. It's a spiritual center. It's got an auditorium. We have got rental facilities. We have got 15 or 16 classrooms, and we are having a wonderful kitchen where Dwarkaji's favorite topic to talk about, that is how we are going to be able to serve a wonderful meal cooked on the spot for our Sunday classes of the families, right? And then a lot of things, library, classroom, and temple services and whatnot. So, but
meditation hall. So think
meditation hall, certainly, right? And then we also have a Acharya quarters for any visiting Swamijis to be able to be able to stay overnight or for days together, for that matter. So with all these things, which also means that there are families who can come into such a center and take advantage of that. At the same time, there are people who are going to be needing access from remote because of the fact that, it's because, either a snow hit in their area or they are not able to come on a regular basis to the center because of the distance involved. So this, all the Zoom-based capabilities that we are talking about is going to help us get there to bring in families who are not until now part of our family, right? So that's going to be a great thing for us to look forward to. So with that in mind, let's take a next step towards talking about, we already mentioned that Anuji is part of the Newton chapter. Sometimes we end up calling it as satellite centers. I'm sure you folks can correct me if I say that it's a satellite center, but let's pose this question starting with Anuji, where I'm going to say, do we think that there are sufficient number of, quote unquote, sufficient number of satellite centers or chapters, as we want to call it? Or do you think there's scope to enhance our presence? Or in general, what is the objective of these satellite centers and where do we go from here?
As Sanjay pointed out earlier, this Zoom mode has really helped in not only just making sure that the attendance is very high, which is absolutely true, it also has provided several silver linings. One of them being that you don't have to commute, the children can get to sleep a little longer and all of that. So commute is a big part of, I think, having these families be encouraged to come to a particular location versus the other. So when we started in for the Newton, restarted, I should say, the Newton chapter, the location was central to attracting more communities because basically it provided them an opportunity to commute less. And so every one of those 5 minutes in the morning, Sunday morning matters. And therefore, if they can save that extra 5 minutes for sleeping, the children would certainly like that. So from that point of view, having the Newton chapter helped in catering to the greater Boston communities, which are, spread out all over. As we go forward, I think that is might be one of the biggest considerations in terms of how we grow. Again, Dwarkaji is the expert in this, and I'm sure he will helm us through this thing. For instance, in the southern part, south of Boston, closer to Sharon and Foxborough, there may be a need. So that's one of the, we need to populate the greater Boston area appropriately so that families can commute very little and then get to one of the chapters. Of course, once they come in, we as coordinators will have to do every little thing into making sure that their needs are catered to and their families continue to come. We provide that bonding experience so that the children basically are coming not only to listen to the Vedanta and gain the spiritual knowledge, but because they hang out with their friends and they learn from each other, which is a big part of what we try to do.
Let's inform our viewers about what are the available chapters in the greater Boston area. Perhaps, Dwarkaji, you may want to just list out the existing and then perhaps talk a little bit about what is that they're offering in terms of the capabilities.
So, what they offer in all the chapters is pretty much consistent with the teachings of Chinmaya Mission. Nobody is deviating from that. So we have Newton, we have Dover, we have Metro West, and we have our Andover Center.
The other thing I would add is languages. So Andover offers many more language classes, and the other chapters we are ramping up slowly.
That's a great point you made. Language classes are a very important offering as part of the Bal Vihar program. And then me being the Kannada teacher for quite a number of years, it's important for us to, share with our viewers today that, we offer a lot of Indian language classes, which are going to, enrich the child. They don't have to necessarily learn what the parents speak at home, right? They can choose to go for Hindi or opt for something else like Sanskrit, do whatever they want. So in that sense,
I just wanted to share a little bit of a tidbit. My son took Tamil classes at Chinmaya Mission when he was part of the Bal Vihar. And, we didn't realize that he was actually so interested in it. And turns out he was really interested in it. And he started taking Tamil classes when he was in college also, because his college was offering Tamil classes. So he took three courses in Tamil in college, which I don't think would have happened if we hadn't started him young at Chinmaya Mission.
So, Madhu, another big point of distinction, right?
Yeah.
We don't charge for language classes.
Correct.
The language classes are part of the fees.
Which is also to stress the fact that it's not exactly another, just like any other academic fees. It's more like a membership for a family, right? Family comes as one unit, and then they get to take advantage of whatever is of their interest, whether it's satsang or doing seva or being part of teaching in Bal Vihar or the kids going to Bal Vihar themselves. All those aspects are covered as well.
Or borrowing books.
I was going to say, yeah.
Or borrowing books from the library.
Absolutely, yes. Chinmaya Mission West is actually conducting Indian Languages Festival in the third week of March, and then I'm happy to just make a pitch on behalf of them because this is going to be a wonderful opportunity for existing and newer members or potentially new members of Chinmaya Mission in general, and also for Chinmaya Mission Boston to know that this Languages Festival is happening under the helm of um, Shubhani ji, and then that will be an awesome presentation where we are going to showcase our capabilities as in terms of how the language teaching goes around, the portals that have been created to share resources, and also a lot of cultural programs based on individual languages in different breakout rooms. So that was just a quick pitch for those who take advantage of this. And then let's move on to the very important topic, which is also closer to my heart, which is Chinmaya Mission Boston. You all, explained in great detail the history, the offerings, the spiritual nature, and whatnot, right? But there is also one more aspect that we have to focus upon. That is our how do we interact with the community? What else do we bring to the community? We know that we have a Seva team where we have been involved in food drives, clothing donations, and then we also have, in the past we have conducted some community-oriented lecture sessions, if you will, some information program sessions like estate planning, health-related topics, wellness programs, etc. So how do you look at all these possibilities? Because again, as part of the executive team, we are interested in getting to do more of these things. And then, although these are not directly, related to Chinmaya Mission's, stated objective as such, but this is certainly helping us bring some positive value to the community. What is your thought on this? Let's start with Raghuji. What do you think about all these programs? What else can we do?
To add to the list you said is we do bring distinguished guests who are experts in their own field. It may not be directly related to spirituality, but if they have unique achievements in a field, we have brought them and to give lectures at the center. I think that's another way to expand the enrichment of our own members, and also for others that visit our centers like that, they learn more about us and see how broad-reaching.
If I may add,
the society.
see, when you're in a community, so we have to be a part of it. So we have to actually give back to the community as well. So there are a lot of things we have done. See, for example, we packed before the pandemic, the Chinmaya Mission members packed 22,000 meals to be delivered to homeless. Then we have an ongoing team who are serving various shelters, and this collection of clothes, and this has been going on. And many people don't know, but this goes for the entire community, to the local homeless shelters and all those. And we invite Merrimack College and other colleges. They come here regularly to understand about our culture, and we in turn take our children to their places so that we can understand their culture. So there is a good interaction, so which just makes people grow together. That there will be a lot of things we can learn from other cultures, and they can learn from our culture. So we have to be a part of the community, so which means we have to get involved, in any of the community activities.
Yeah, that's. I would like to add a couple more things to what Dwarka said. Recently when town of Lawrence and some parts of Andover had those gas explosions, Chinmaya Mission did contribute to the affected people sizable funds. And same thing in Ceylon although we raise cord donations to help rural development in India, when we see exceptional suffering in neighboring countries, one year we sent it to Ceylon, and also one year we did special fundraising for tsunami victims in Indonesia and also in Ceylon area. So we keep that perspective that wherever we can step in and help.
Yeah, just one more thing that we shouldn't forget. I mean, because each time there's a disaster or something, we can't predict. But what Raghunathji was saying, it's the philosophy and the mentality that we all have. So, example is the most recent example is this pandemic. When there was a shortage of masks, there was a whole mask drive organized by Chinmaya Mission members to stitch and sew masks and distribute it to needy healthcare frontline workers.
Last point to add, sorry, is the Seva aspect is stressed as part of our Balavirar curriculum. Every year, every class tries to do something which basically is in the spirit of that, and we make it a point to make sure that that is indeed part of our overall planning and curriculum and goals for the year.
I think I'm hearing great points here. But just to sum it up, we're talking about different services that we are willing to offer the community, whether it is health, whether it is spiritual betterment, or we are talking about disaster help, as well. And then I know that we are part of the Chinmaya Organization of Rural Development. We have a chapter called CORD USA, CORD USA, of which we also have a Boston chapter, and then a very vibrant team coordinating various social activities, charity activities, fundraising for various things around Boston, and also, as Raghuji already mentioned, to causes around the world. That makes us not only looking up to Chinmaya Mission for individual betterment, but we are also looking at how, as global citizens, we are able to give back to the community locally or elsewhere as well. So I think that is great to hear, and we look forward to doing more on this front. Just to bring it all home, right, to hear it from you all, from the members of the Chinmaya Mission Boston Board, where do you see Chinmaya Mission Boston in next 5 years, 10 years? Whether you're talking about from the center as a whole, or from the Andover centric perspective, either way, starting with Dwarkaji.
So, well, any center, the first thing is they want to be financially viable, right? Stable. So in order to do that, carrying a loan is somewhat of a burden, but we can't start any organization without having a loan. So our immediate plan is, we started off with almost 6 million plus loan a few years ago, and now it is come down to like 1.4 million. So we want to clear that loan in the next 5 years and be debt free. So that's how we want to expand the availability of the center and its activity to many children, both locally and also via virtual, to, like somebody was mentioning, Amherst, Maine, Vermont, and they can all join. So that's how we want to expand and make this available for more people. And also
It's great to
get more teachers involved, so that the more teachers we have, the teaching gets easier and the burden will be less on the limited number of teachers.
Can I,
That's good.
one plug for
Right.
the teachers, that's something that we didn't explicitly say. We would not be where we are without our excellent team of teachers at the Andover Center, and as well as all of the chapters. They come into us, somehow Lord Maruti takes care of us and brings us this excellent team of people who are the ones who make it all really run. And so I really want to explicitly mention that thank you so much, teachers, for bringing us to where we are. And this is how we can, give more than what we receive.
And
Cool.
it's all voluntary. Nobody gets paid for that. So that's,
Yes.
but their dedication is more than what the paid teachers can get. So
Certainly. Murali.
What I envision in the next 5 years is, I would like to see the Andover membership and participation double in the next 5 years. And also, it's already happening. The younger generation, the younger leaders, we have now Padmini and Sudhir taking active roles. When Lataji left, she was carrying the load for a long time as a principal of the center. And then we have a lot of youngsters taking up leadership roles. So that's I like to see more of the youngsters getting participation, and then carrying on the legacy that the Dwarka and Sashi started in Boston area.
Awesome. Raghu sir, did you have any point?
Yeah, like Dwarak said, our immediate next 5 years is to clear our loans, and that gives us all kinds of, opens up vista to do other projects, and also helping monetarily other chapters to have in whatever they need in terms of having their own buildings, classrooms, etc. So that's an exciting phase to enter into.
To put it in perspective, that's coming from the horse's mouth, the treasurer of Chinmaya Mission Boston. So thank you, well put over there.
Here are my answers to some of your questions. Our mission and vision are clearly the most inspiring messages that we can draw from. To provide happiness through the study of Vedanta, it cultivates and trains a person to become spiritually liberated and find peace in our inner self. The teachings and guidance one receives at CMB are invaluable. They're structured and methodical. Everyone is encouraged to practice as well as participate in the study group as well as in the workshops. It allows us to unfold and learn Vedanta thoroughly. Bala Vihar is a very critical and a vital part of Chinmaya Mission program. It teaches our children our heritage and values as well as religious practices. It builds a strong foundation for all our children, and it builds character and values in our youth. Chinmaya's success is very much intertwined with success of our organization, Bala Vihar. We should develop and cultivate other programs as a satellite center for recruiting new students and families. It is very vital that we do that as frequently as possible in multiple suburbs around Massachusetts. Board members are ambassadors, and they have a responsibility to be the ambassadors of goodwill into the community. In the next 5 years, we need to initiate more outreach programs and projects for the community. Furthermore, we need to adjust to the changing times at all levels of Chinmaya Mission organization. Thank you, and Hari Om.
It's a great positive note to end this conversation upon. So just to summarize, right, we are looking at the board thinking of lessening the financial obligations that they have so that they can open up new vistas and new services and perhaps offer all these services at a lower membership price, if you will, right? And then we are talking about being thankful to volunteers and then all the teachers, a lot of people absolutely unpaid, but they bring their love and service, and then we are very, very happy to have them as part of the wonderful team we are. And we also looking at trying to hopefully reduce the debt and then be able to double, for example, and our membership. And then most importantly, we're looking at the children who are going through the Bala system coming back up, and then once they are able to come back as a part of junior chick or chick group, or when they are parents themselves, come back with their children and then take this whole mission forward. So that is really great to hear from all of you. And I really want to take this moment to thank you all, and also those people who couldn't be here today for all you bring, the wonderful services and then all the leadership you bring for the mission. And so again, on behalf of myself and my team, the community outreach team and the executive team, I would like to thank you all, and wish you all a wonderful and happy rest of the winter, and healthy rest of the winter. And then we will hope to meet in person soon. Thank you all.
Good
night. Thank you.
महनीय कृपा गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा महनीय